in there. So let's see. Boop. Yeah, there we are. I don't know what happened.
You are.
All right. Now let me get rid of this and go back over here into my like actual video where people can comment stuff. I need to go back to channel content, click on the thingy. I don't know how to just like get to it like normal person. So I can see, because that's what I don't like about using Zoom with YouTube is there's like it's a weirdness like trying to watch the comments and stuff because you're live and if you put the video on, it's like it talks and stuff. Skip ads. Okay, now I'm in there. Get to it like normal person. Why is it not? So I can see, because that's what I don't like about using Zoom with YouTube is there's like I gotta turn that all the way down, I guess. Well, I can't do that because then I can't hear you. I can't remember how this worked last time. And I did this one other time with Heather. The whole reason I have Zoom was to use this. But if I want to hear you guys talk, I turned the volume off on the video. It shouldn't be like playing for me. It doesn't make
it on
sense.
someone else's screen? My browser shut off.
There's a playback of me, even though I have that off. Maybe there's another place somewhere that like I don't know about.
Window.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Okay. Meeting information. Turn that off. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I don't know how, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to hear you guys if I turn it down. This doesn't make any sense.
It's not muting on the video?
No, like I like clicked, turned off the volume altogether, and it's like.
Well, I wonder if it's because you're running the live, like it won't let you not hear it. Maybe I don't know.
It's I know I did this one other time and it worked somehow. I don't know what I ended up doing so that I could, because I could talk to Heather when I was doing it. Let me open this up. Maybe I'll mute.
I can't hear you. I hear like the playback, or like I hear an echo, but I don't know if that's from you or Stefania.
Me too, like you.
Yeah.
I'm just checking on the phone, the YouTube, and
Mute that. I did this one other time with Heather. The whole reason I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right.
No, I heard you that time.
I unmuted it.
Oh.
And now I'm not hearing the play, like now I'm not hearing me through there. So maybe that did help. Actually it's frozen. Oh, it's froze. Oh, what I can still see comments, so that's good. Okay. I'll just let it be frozen version of me. And all right, Buddha's Turin. Hello, how are you? Sound is on. Bridget, hiya. Hello. Now it's muted. Can you hear me? Is working now. Okay. It's like blah, 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 blah. Hi there. How are you? We've been having technical difficulties as usual. I don't think I've ever done anything without that happening. At least on the first try. But I'm
It
here
was like
with
first 20 minutes.
yeah, like we anything that could be, you know, a little messed up, it's usually gonna happen. But we're here, and I have two other ladies in here with me right now, and then in the description of the actual video is other people too that are offering a service for a discounted price. And instead of doing it like right now on the fly while everything's like chaotic, what we're doing is if people wanted to book with one of those people for one of those offerings, like Stefania is doing Akashic record readings, or you could do like for somebody that's not even here right now. Actually, I'm not going to book with Heather because she wasn't able to do like more time. So I'm just going to leave that unless she shows up or pops in here somehow. So Heather, I'm going to just hold off on that because I don't know where she is. But Kitty is offering readings. Abby is offering readings. And what we were going to do while we're on is like let the other girls talk and show you how they do, you know, stuff, or tell you about what they do. Because Stefania does like a trance thing. So she's not going to really jump into trance right now to preview that. But if Abby wants to, you know, talk a little bit about her offering, we could do that. And basically you do it through the super chat for $10, and all the description is there that tells you how to do that, like what you should do when you do that. Abby?
All right. So I'll tell a little bit about myself. My name's Abbey Stone, and I guess my business or little venture is called Seed of Stone. And I offer channeled healing messages, usually through tarot. Sometimes I'll like poetry. And then I also,
I don't know why it's doing that.
there's an echo, so I'm gonna turn it down.
Okay.
And then I also do like energy healings and anchorings for people, but I haven't offered those services yet. I'm mostly focusing on readings right now. But today I'm doing a sun and moon reading. So kind of like tapping into those aspects of yourself, like that embrace like the sun and moon energies, with sun being more like action, expansion, external push energies. Sometimes also referred to as like masculine energies. And then moon energies are more receptive, like internal contraction, pole energies, or like feminine energies.
Tapping into those aspects of yourself.
Like trying to find out how those are expressed in yourself and like where you might need some balance to bring love and acceptance for like your light and dark experiences. But yeah, so that's what I'll be offering.
I think there's a feedback if like one of us turns our volume up too loud or something. But that you did good. Like it only happened like once or twice, and I think you kind of like spaced it out enough to handle the feedback. That's what happens is like if you're watching this at the same time as you're speaking, it like starts to echo. It's like makes like multiple of them. That's why I mute the one I have on the screen.
Yeah, and, I had to turn volume down.
What'd you say?
I said I had to turn my volume down because I kept hearing myself, but with like a slight delay, and it was throwing me off.
I know. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, so that it's weird. So that is what Abby's offering, and Stefania is also here. And Stefania, I don't know if you wanted to like explain a little bit about Akashic record readings and your healing sessions you're being offered. She has 5 of those available for people, and Abby has 6 slots open, and I have 3 slots open for just like what I do, my tarot readings. But if Stefania wanted to share just a little bit of info, you can do so.
Okay, I try. So I read the Akashic record for you. I channel all the message I receive it. So I remember that I forgot everything at the end of the reading. So I not know anything. If you have any question, you can ask me at the moment. But remember that the book is the book of your life, and the questions are for you. The answer are for you, and you are the only one can understand what they want to do. Sometimes they can answer you. That is important to know, because you don't have to know the answer right now. Sometimes they are really helpful to help you to go on your path, on your life. So during the Akashic record reading, I heal you. If you have any kind of trouble, or if you need to heal something, is a really good energy healing. And also, if you prefer, I can do a Reiki session, remote session for you, and check it out your chakra and your energy situation, and let you know what do you need to do or something like that. That's all.
Perfect. Yes, I got a Akashic record reading from Stefania this week, and it made me cry. And it was actually like perfectly messages, like, you know, the stuff that we know, but we might not be like paying attention to per se, or you know, it's like those messages that spirit gives to us. Like, it's like, hey, you gotta take care of yourself. Hey, you can't do that. Hey, you know, things like that. And it depends on what you ask for questions too. Like, you know, I asked specifically, like, what do I need to know in regards to like manifesting this, or what do I need to know in regards to something specific? And in the description, she put down places of, you know, example questions that you could ask. And you can also ask them in regards to twin flames, and have your twin flame give you messages from like that Akashic record space. And Manifestor said, you always make me cry, Bridge. I'm sorry. I don't like, my whole life I was always you know, pushed away from emotions and feelings and like expressing. So now, like, doing this work, like, I remember the first year, like, everybody wanted to hug and like talk and express, and I'm like, what? No, why are we doing this? And now I just cry all the time and have all these emotional breakdowns. But a lot of times it's good. I know the Pleiadians specifically release that way, and we'll let it build and build and build and build until we then like crack over like the silliest thing, and we're like, ah, you know, just get all messed up in the head. It would be like something so stupid that sets me up. Like earlier, I was up all night trying to like set this up and get it all right, get people's descriptions, and you know, I wanted to tell people ahead of time. And then I went to take a shower, and like, I don't know, my dad's been weird with the shower stuff, but it wouldn't get hot. And so I was like, ah. I went downstairs, get a bucket of hot water, and then I'm like crying, like, I hate my life. Just like wetting my hair with buckets. And that's what set me over the edge, not all of the other stuff leading to the moment, just like the stupidest stuff that makes you like, ah. Hi, Chris, how are you? Much love to you too. Thank you. Yeah, so that's usually what I do when I get upset. And it's usually like, people are like, look at me like I'm crazy. You were fine all the way until then. I can take like the big hits, but then the little tiny crap I get all. It's like, that's too much. We were also gonna do like some kind of like, while we're on here, you know, like examples, I guess, or, you know, check-ins and stuff. So I'll pull a couple of cards just for the collective energy. So anybody that comes in, anybody that sees this later, we can, you know, set the intention that you get a message.
and then I'll have Abby do that. And I know like with Stefania, she you know, she might, if she wants to pull cards, she could. If she doesn't, that's okay. We can do whatever she's comfortable with. But the first card I have here is the Temperance card. And this for me is a card of balance and passion and emotion. So I do feel like what we were just talking about is kind of coming up for the collective as a whole right now, where we may be coming into a time we're trying to balance out like our passions and our emotions, and you know, find more time for ourselves, but also still show up for our lives, you know, getting things done. And that can be hard sometimes. I also have animals coming through from past life. I was guided to get the past life deck. So some of you may have something to balance out in regards to your emotions when it comes to pets. This is literally like you have a close connection with animals, and you could have lived as a pet or an animal or had trauma with a pet, either in this life or another life. And it says, embrace your gift. You could have like the gift to be like a veterinarian or do like communication with animals. I know like my animals definitely talk to me and I talk to them. We have like our own language. So I feel like there may be something that you can work on clearing like and balancing karma up in regards to that from some other life that may have began the whole process. We also have unknown coming through, which is adaptable, shape-shifting, mutable, changeable, lived many lives, influenced by unhealed karma. And then the healer is the healing like energy. Like I'm a healer. I could heal animals. I could heal people. I could heal myself. I could heal the earth, you know, whatever thing it is. And then Atlantis is here. So I feel like those that are called to come to this energy here that we have tonight, you are probably healers yourselves. You probably started, you know, on Earth back in the time of Atlantis. And the unknown is basically like, sometimes it's hard for you to know exactly who you are or where you've been because you're so vast, you know. When I did readings for people like the Starseed Origins, sometimes I get this thing that's called like unknown or something. I can't remember the exact word that they would say. It was like they didn't find it in the database, you know, like we don't have like origins unknown, or it's like beyond this space and time right here. It's like way out there. So some of you guys could be so old or so ancient or so vast with the amounts of lives that you've had that it's like it's unknown. We don't know. We don't really know like where you've been because you're just shapeable and shifting all the time. But you do carry the energy of Atlantis as a healer, specifically with animals, and you may be aware of the power struggle on Earth. And Melissa, Chris said, I'm good, glad I was able to catch the stream. You're absolutely amazing, by the way. Thank you very much, Chris. I appreciate you coming and joining us. And then Melissa said, for the readings being offered, will they be done on here? Actually, what I was going to do, just to make it easier for some people, like, because you guys are in that little section right there, and we're over here, what I'm going to do is make it so that you can book right now and lock your thing in. And then, you know, when we get off of here, I'm going to record and send them off. And then the other girls, you know, they're going to do that too, either record or, you know, do audio, but it's a 72-hour window, just so that like if they get 6 to do, they don't have to pop 6 out tonight, you know. And then over the next 72 hours, they'll email you your email of either an audio or a video so that you have that, and then you can watch it more than once and, you know, process and receive that way. Because originally I was going to do multiple Zoom rooms, but I can't get you from the comment section to the Zoom room unless I like send you an invite link. And then you, if you don't have Zoom, have to download Zoom. And then you got to get into the Zoom with us. And then when you get in there with us, I got to take you and your person and put you over here in another room. And like Abby sometimes has like a iffy thing with her connection on Zoom. So I didn't want her to be in the middle of a reading with you and then like fall out and be gone. So we decided we'll just do like this, be like a preview of what we offer, and then you can book and get it back within probably 48, 72 hours would be the maximum on how long you'd have to wait to get that back, depending on who you book with. And then Manifester says, I was told in a medium session, I was gonna be like Dr. Doolittle and take in many injured or orphaned animals. My healing modality is laughter. That's funny. Like I've taken in so many animals when I worked for different places. I worked for different vets, or not vets, well, kind of, but like most of them were like weird pet store-ish things, but I would always be the one to take them to the vet. So if they were sick or whatever, I'd end up bonding with them. And then I had a snake, and then I had a conure, which is a bird. I had like so many fish tanks and just so many weird things over the years. And that seems to be what happens, is like I take the injured or the sick or the messed up and I can't let them go. And yeah, I think it's an empath thing within us to do that. And then Rick says, anyone coming in now, make sure you read the video description. Thank you, Rick. And Manifester said, I've been told I'm primordial. Nice. And then Melissa said, that works too. Yeah, it was so confusing because I like, try to accommodate everybody. And I got to learn to not do that so much and just kind of like do what works. Manifester said, I had to give up work to look after my father who has dementia. So I'm so broke, but when I get my monthly allowance from the powers that be, I'm going to join. I'm sorry that that's the situation. I know how that is again, because I had my mom who was very sick at the end of her life, and my sister just had a baby. So I was like, and she was like homeless at that time. So I said, you sign up her to be on the caregiver thingy. So she got paid to be the caregiver, but I was the one like running around and doing the caregiving. And I actually took donations at different points to be able to like go see her every day in Boston and deal with that whole time. But I know it's not a fun time to be. So if you want, I will let you have one for, without the thing. You can just email me or comment like what your questions are for the reading, and I'm just gonna put you down as like one free session, and then I'll take care of it that way, because I know what it's like to be in those shoes. And so we pay here, send them questions, the email address thing. Yeah, Melissa, if you want, it depends on how comfortable you are, because basically I'm looking at like because when you comment with a super chat, it like highlights it. So I was looking at that kind of like a way to like, hey, these are my questions, this is my email address, this is my name. But if you don't want everybody in the comment feed to see your questions and all of that, you can privately send your questions to your practitioner and just make the payment here and let me know who you chose, and I will mark one of those as chose, so that you don't so we don't double book them or give them way too many people to do. And then I manifested my cat Tinkerbell. We rescued each other. Yeah, that seems to be what happens with the animals. And Chris says, you understand and help those unable to speak for themselves. Yeah, because I think that's probably been me a lot too. I have a hard time speaking up sometimes. Rick says, I'm going to try to do the super chat thing. Okay, Rick, if you have any trouble, I have other ways, and I know you, so we can always figure that out. If you have a hard time, making your thing, just let me know. And I'll either send you like a little thing through PayPal or something like that after. Because I know super chat can be iffy. It's like you want to put down like $11 or $5, it's like puts it to like 80. And then Melissa says, I buried a dead bird at my job. I felt so bad for it and couldn't throw the bird in no, you threw it in the trash. No, definitely not. Like, we want to definitely bury. But when you see a dead bird, it's not like, I know it's sad, but I think there's a special message with the birds, because there was a woman who is very much into like all the spiritual stuff, and like everywhere she went, she was finding a wing, or she was finding like just parts of birds everywhere she went. She's always posting these parts of birds. So I feel like it's like a special message for you, you know, about spreading your wings and flying and things like that. But whatever comes to your mind when you connect with that. And then Manifestor said, "You made me cry again." Thank you. I'll probably make you cry again. You know, that's what we do. And then Melissa said, "Sounds good." Okay, so I'm going to give Abby a chance if she wants to share any messages or cards with the community here, and speak for a few moments, just so everybody has a time to connect.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, no, I definitely also connect with all the animal and the empath things. I talk to my dog like telepathically all day long, and yeah. But I think it's funny, she's got her screen share up for us on the Zoom call, and I see that it's 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So the 6-6, and so that's kind of why part of the reason why I'm doing like sun and moon energies and like duality is because that's like part of my set of like soul gifts. So I am a Gemini, so like there's some twin energies there. I was born on 6-6, so that's why I chuckled with the 66 degrees, because when I see sixes, it's kind of my like nod to like, hey, you're on the right track for myself. And right now, like this week in particular, there's a lot of energies coming in from the universe, offering a lot of help with balancing. We've got the Jupiter and Neptune planet conjunction happening this month, and yesterday, the 12th, was like the peak energy for that. And it's in Pisces. That's where the conjunction is. And then there's a full moon this coming weekend in Libra, which is also about like balance. So that's why I chose this reading in particular to offer, to tap into those energies to really help whoever chooses the readings to find the balance within themselves. So I did a little practice reading for myself this morning. So I asked like for an expression of my sun aspect, an expression of my moon aspect, and then like an expression of the love that I need to show of myself and the acceptance that I need to help bring those energies together and keep me like at a higher vibration. So for the sun cards, the ones that came out were Temperance and the Emperor. So I thought it was funny that Bridget drew Temperance. But for this, so for the sun energies, those are the parts of myself that are like kind of push, take action, like the more external, like I'm putting energy out into the world. And so for myself, I kind of laughed when I got the Emperor card, because this card with the little I think it's a sea lion on there. When I got my deck, I drew a card for my dog, and this was the card that came up, and it made me laugh because I was like, it kind of looks like him because he'll stand like that or sit like that sometimes. And he's kind of got like a stubborn look on his face. So I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like I can be kind of stubborn with like expectations. And if I have a certain plan and then like I don't follow it, like it takes me a minute to adjust.
You're frozen on
like
one card.
Oh,
it was like frozen just on one card. I'm like, that's not a dog. now it's me.
No,
It's
yeah,
okay.
it was. I was saying that I drew this card for my dog, and I thought that it looked like the expression looked like him. And then for Temperance, for the sun energies for myself, it's just kind of like finding that peace within myself and taking action when I know that it's in the best interest of like balance for my mind, body, and spirit. Because if one of those is out of whack, it's gonna affect the other two. Like, and that's kind of when you hit those like life falling apart, overwhelming moments. So those that made sense for myself, of where I'm at with things. And And then my moon energies, so more of the energies I need to like to be more receptive and like kind of just let things come to me and spend time like with my intuition and emotions. And so I got the Root of Wands, which is like the the Knight of Wands in like traditional tarot, and then the Star. So for myself, I kind of took that as like, for the most part, I've been pretty good about following my guides, but there's always those times that I kind of doubt myself, and I don't really see myself as like I don't see myself as the star sometimes with my gifts. And so I think it's like a sign for me to like pay attention to the times when I really need to like trust myself and follow my intuition and like trust that I'm safe and like I have everything that I need to like be the star and like use my gifts. And in order to help bring those energies together for the Love That Binds cards, I drew the Wheel of Fortune and the 10 of Cups. So I think for myself kind of shows me to kind of be gentle with myself and let myself take time to like really feel and embrace my emotions. And when I do that, it'll help me feel safe and connected and like I'm at home and fulfilled. And then with the Wheel of Fortune, just a reminder that I also cycle with like the seasons and like the moon, and the phases and energies of myself are going to like fluctuate and be mirrored in nature. And so that's kind of how I find my comfort in things when I need a little extra help from angels or guides or what's around me is I connect with nature. And that's most of where my like channeling and healing comes from, is I'm like, again, like the dual energies, as above, so below. Like I'm tapped into like that star and starseed energy, as well as like earth keeper, like protectors of the earth energy. Yeah, so that's like maybe a little preview of what you might get if you book a sun and moon reading with me.
Thank you. And Rick has gotten an Akashic record reading with Stefania, and I do have his email address somewhere in my like database of stuff, but Stefania's email address is in there too. So if you want to like copy that and save that for yourself, even just send her like a hey, this is Rick. That way she knows which email address to return your reading to. And obviously you can see the comments, right, Stefania? You can see his question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
and please, Rick, send me one email because I need some information from you, personal information from you before to do the reading. Also, Buddha booked me a reading by email, if I'm not wrong, right now. So I have 2 reading books right now.
okay. Somebody else emailed you?
No, just
Oh.
only Rick and Buddha. She called Buddha.
Oh.
She's in a chat. She is, I think, yes. She's the first one who chat on our chat. Yes, she sent me one private email right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm like, what? All right. So I'll put down Buddha and Rick for Stefania.
Exactly.
I told you, Stefania, I said that, and anybody who does, like, there's a woman I know in my area who does Akashic records, and she's like, always, everywhere she goes, anything she does is like, she's just slammed with everybody wanting to do the Akashic record because it's different.
Oh, my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so let me see over here. Manifest, how do I ask my question? Manifest, you can email me at my email address in the or you can comment it here, or you can email me privately, however you feel, and you can ask more than one question. It's basically a 20-minute reading, so up to 5 questions can be covered in that. And again, if you want to give me a few details surrounding your question, you can always do that. Like I tell people, if you're asking about love and you're dealing with like a third party situation, that's relevant information that I don't have to be like, could be this, could be that, could be blah, 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 blah. And then if you're doing like career and you're like, I'm thinking about changing my job, that would be a nice piece of information to have so that I'm not like, I don't know, I think you might be wanting to change your job and wasting a bunch of time doing that. So, you know, just little bits of information that are relevant to your situation and align with your questions. If you don't have 5 questions, you can always be open to receive whatever comes through. And part of what I was offering too is I do like starseed origin, like readings basically to see what comes through. Like, you know, sometimes people do that if they want confirmation on where they've been and who they are at a soul level. So it could be a mix of, you know, love and healing and career and abundance and starseed, whatever you feel guided. And the email address is Bridget@divineessential.com. And if you need to see how, like, you know, make sure you have the right spelling, that is in the description box, or you can do it here. You're welcome. And then Chris says, actually just picked up a bunch of labradorite beads and a sweet palm stone with tons of flash and synchronicity with catching your vid today. He's like, he knows that I'm a little weird with labradorite. I have massive amounts of it and I can't stop buying it or getting it. Like I actually, all of the big ones, I didn't buy those. Like those were all gifted to me by people who are very nice people. Like this was the most recent one that was given to me from somebody. She's the same person that gave me my mesa cloth, which is like a $200 cloth. And that was the second one of those that was given to me for a gift. But this is like, she showed up one day and she was like, hey, I got you this. And I was like, oh my God. And that's just like how they've all come. I won't really spend much money. Like I will spend money on crystals, but for me personally, I don't think I've ever really spent, well, no, I did buy one that was expensive, this one. This one I bought for like $200, but other than that, like $40-50 is like the most I had spent. And all these big monsters came for free. And then the big citrine generator that I won from Sage Goddess. I don't know if anybody knows her. She's on Instagram and she has a YouTube channel. She was at the Tucson Gem Show and she was like, hey guys, I'm gonna give this smoky generator away and it has this and that and blah, 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 blah. And it was like protected abundance or protected like you know, prosperity, because it's smoky citrine. So it's like got the citrine for abundance, smoky for the protection. So it's like anything you do is protected for, you know, like good comeback with money. And that was before I started, you know, putting myself onto YouTube, like on a consistent basis. And I, you know, had just left that bad situation, had no money. And then it was like, boom, protected success, kind of just like blew up. So I know that helped a lot. If you ever get some citrine, smoky quartz mixture there, it's a good one to have. And it has the hairs in it. There's some sort of hair in this that's rare. It's like silver tail, root tail, but you can't really see them. It's like really hard to see like the beauty of like what's actually in there. But there's silver and some other colors inside of there that are like little hairs. And I think that makes like special something or other. And then there's more rainbows and stuff. The rainbows are good for depression and, you know, bringing in joy. But this thing is a generator, and we have that, you know, double-sided here that match, and then this one, you know, it's flat. So a generator is like shaped in a certain pattern, and then there's receivers. So you can have a receiver, generator, or you can have both, like a transmitting, receiving one. They have like patterns, like a 737 is one. So it has 7-sided face, and then a 3-sided face, then a 7-sided face. And then there's one that's like 7373, and that's a what is it? There's the next one up. It's like there's a certain name for that, and that's like even more of a monster for manifesting and all of that. Let's see what we have here. Stefania sent an email. Oh, well, it's me. Okay. That's for me, definitely. I know I'm from the stars. Okay. And then that's just Remy reminded me of your video the other day talking about amethyst. I have a beautiful ametrine and Lemurian crystal, which I have been studying. Thanks. Yeah, I'm a weirdo. Like, I used to get crystals and just be like, this is a nice crystal, put it up on thing, and oh, it looks nice there. I wasn't really like as weird as I am now, where I'm like, I spent like 6 hours studying them and like getting a little weird about it. I have my little like light bulb and everything that I turn on and get all into the cracks, because there's so much stuff that I didn't know before that like came on one day. It was just like boing. And ever since then, I've gotten really crazy about quartz, because quartz has massive amounts of information that are programmed into them. And then just like the look of it, what's on the side of it, how many side of the faces it have, will make it very special. And then, worth more. And you would think like, everybody tries to get these ones that are all like fancy and they've been shaped by people, putting them into a machine, like they're all nice. Or this one's a crackle quartz. So this one is man-made. They heated it to get the crackle. But the ones that are really, really powerful are the ones that are like, ugh. Like the ones that most people would be like, yeah, I don't really like that. The more messed up they are, the more stuff they have that's cool about them. My friend has just bought some woods here in Somerset, England, and I have found a huge quartz crystal and still has the mission moss. Oh, wow. That's awesome. Quartz is like the most like thing that we have on earth. Like it's in the sand, it's in our body, it's in our computers, it's everywhere. And then like most like amethyst, citrine, that's quartz, just a different variety of quartz. But there's so much of it. And so many things. I have like 3 pages of just like what the names could possibly be about quartz. And then this is one of the geodes that my dad finally cracked open the other day. I got these like little guys that they come all closed up, and then you make it. He sawed it open, and now it has outer crystals in there. It's so hard to show anything on camera without looking like really bad. I just want to show the sparkles. This one's cool. It has a lot of stuff in there. I can't really show you guys, but they like them. They're like billions of sparkles in there. I had 2 of them. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, here it is. This one isn't like that one. This one's like flat. Doesn't have like the hole. I don't know. I feel like it's not done yet. I feel like it didn't get fully processed or something, because it's like, I don't know. It's not like the same. It reminds me of like food too, because he had it on the counter in the kitchen when I went down there. I'm like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's crystals. Let's see what we have. It weighs a ton. I tried to crack it open, launched it on a concrete, and it doesn't budge, literally bounced. That's amazing. Your dad cracked. Thank you. Yeah, quartz is pretty powerful. I think I've dropped a lot of them, and like usually the ones that like, I don't care, like I'm like throw it around. Those ones never break, but if it's like a nice one that you're like, oh, don't be, it's like because it like smashes and just breaks. But yeah, quartz is awesome. Quartz amplifies, and it's funny. When I was guided to info the other day about the Pleiadian lineup, inside of there, like there was like things to know about to be coming up for the collective as a whole, and inside of like the list of like, you know, things that could be possible for future, it was like star seeds are going to have an increase if they're, you know, focus on quartz. And then I saw Abby was like, I've been like really getting guided to quartz, man, and like I didn't know there's so much about. And then you're like, I've got this like huge quartz and like banging it around and like everybody's like, yeah, quartz. So it was true because she wrote that, you know, a while back. Lavendar from Starseed Hotline or something like that. If you type in Lavendar, Starseed, or or Pleiadian lineup or Starseed markings, her site will pop up. And she had so many things that like I have happened, and like listening to her talk, it like reminds me, and I'm like, oh my God, because she's right. Like sometimes they do things or like stuff happens and it's like you don't really have a say in what's going on, but it's like it happens, or there's like an experiment happening, or some weird crap happening in your life. It's like you're just like an observer of it, but they know. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna like fuck with you for a few days, and you know, here you go into this mess now. Oh, let's see how you do with that. She had gone to Giza, into the pyramids on a lineup, and did like activations on people in a sarcophagus. And one of the guys had a walk-in come in right there. Like he was gone. He died in the sarcophagus. And then they were like, you know, oh no, what do we do? Crystals and shit. He then came back and was completely a different person. He didn't like want anything to do with like the people he had been with all that time before. He left there and just lived a whole different mission. So those are like the intense walk-ins that come in. And then there's other versions of that where it's like, I feel like it's like aspect walks in. Like when I had my awakening, I went through my head, this big buzz, and it knocked me off my feet. And then after that, I just knew stuff that I didn't know before. I'm asking all these questions, Googling random weird crap. And it's like, it just slowly integrated. So that was like a aspect of self coming online. But these other people, they're just like, bye. And this new version comes in. And in 83, there was a massive amount of people that had that happen where a bunch of them left and a bunch of them came in. And I think that's going to happen again. I feel like there's another shift coming up for people where those who may have awoke in 2009 or around that time, there could be some stuff going on with that. I woke up in 2011 and that was during like the November time, you know, November's in the lineup and they're just aligned with us in a way that they do more stuff on Earth. And the height of the lineup is the 17th, 18th, and 19th of May and November. My mom always told me when I was, you know, growing up, you were doing the 17th, born on the 18th, a minute away from the 19th. And like when I saw that on the website, that was one of those like holy crap moments, because I'm like, what are the chances that I'm here trying to figure out like how I'm connected to this? And then like they're doing experiments on those dates specifically. And it was just one of those moments that kind of helped me to be like, okay, I think this is really real. Because I didn't want to believe it at all. I would love
your birthday is stamped on my ceiling.
Is it?
The wood, like whatever date was stamped on, I guess when it was, I don't know, or whatever. Yeah, it says May 18th, 2008.
2008?
Yeah.
That's what the hell? That's what I mean. Okay, so she is me. Basically, like they made me and her at the same time and were like, just threw us out at the world at the same time. Hi, Space Bug. She first came to my group on the Divine United thing that is now, but it was called something else then. And like the first things that she said to me, I was like, holy crap, like everything that I have going on or had happen or whatever. She's like, she's got clear knowing, she had Lyme disease, like everything possible. I'm like, what the hell? And then she always has something go down that's like totally connected to me. And then same, vice versa. I would love it if you came to Glastonbury here in England, Bridget. Have you heard of it? I actually, I did the new paradigm with John Armitage, and with that, there was a lot of like things in the new paradigm that talked about different parts of England and like the the Tor, like the Michael Mount, the Saint something or other, there's like a line or something, there's a I don't know if it's a serpent line or something, there's some sort of line that runs, and I think it's in that area, and there's a bunch of different sacred sites that are like aligned to it, that we do like a journey with, like we do like a Merlin one, and we ride dragons and stuff, like go to the top of the St. Michael Mount, and we went to the Knights table, the round table there, and that like expanded for however many people it needed to expand for, and then we saw the Excalibur, the knife or the sword in the stone. We didn't need to take that out though, because like that's like a whole weird thing. I don't know, there was all this stuff that was channeled from Archangel Michael, some was channeled from Saint Germain, and then some was channeled from Hari Baba. There's a whole bunch. But yeah, I think some of it, yeah, the Michael line. I don't know, I think he called it something else in the book, but basically I think that's it, because it was like there's this Michael Mountain, that Michael Mountain, St. Michael's this. And then Chris says, my awakening was summer of 2013 after my mom's passing on my day of birth of all days. Crazy to say the least. When is your birthday, Chris? And I'm sorry about your mom. I know a lot of times we have something significant trigger those things in us, like when life just can't get worse. It's like, I need a reason to be, and like, oh, okay. And then you have your moment, enlightenment. I remember when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, everything was like so like happy for a while. And I've like lived in like a cloud. Even though life sucked, I was like happy. 7-Eleven is my dog's name. And 83. You might have been one of those walk-ins from 83. Look into the Lavendar, the information. She has like a vault of knowledge on her website. And I feel like you'll resonate with some of the stuff on there. There's like people were inoculated with stuff like crystalline energy. Some people need to have certain stuff. What was the name of that stuff I said the other day, Abby, that I was like, this is what I need to save myself?
Silica?
Yeah, silica. Silica is very powerful for us. To like heal and amplify our energy and get, aligned with stuff inside our body. If we don't have enough silica, it like shuts everything else down. Yeah, Michael and Mary lines. Yeah, that's talked about in the new paradigm that I took like 8 years ago, or 7 years ago. I don't know. But 7-Eleven, I think Chris, do you resonate with the Syrian stuff? Because I think 7 is when Syrian has like a closer connection with us or something. I know that there's like in August, it's like the Lyran thing. We get the Lion's Gate. In May, November, we have the Palladian lineup. But I know there's one in that month, and I'm pretty sure it's Syrian energies. Seriously, it was uplifting and demoralizing simultaneously. And Manifestor says, we are on the heart chakra. Yeah, everybody says that about that energy is like that heart chakra of the earth there. I would like to go, see some stuff. I really want to go to Peru.
Yes.
I'm like, I need to go there for sure. I don't know exactly why or what I'm going to do while I'm there, but I know like I need to go there. But my name's Bridget, so I've always been kind of pulled over into the green place. I always think of it as green. Like everything there is green. And it's the heart chakra. So I will pull a couple cards, and then we chatted briefly about the Syrian connection with my dates. Oh, nice. I forget everything now. My brain doesn't hold on to anything. I literally will look at something and then go to like do it on the next tab over and have to go back like 6 times to get like the fullness of one sentence or like 4 numbers. It's really bad. But I'll see if actually I was gonna use that deck and see if there's another message that wants to come through, and then if Stefania has anything that she would like to do afterwards, she could, or whatever. We'll see how it goes. I guess Heather's not coming. So that's so crazy. St. Bridget and St. Patrick are both from Somerset, but Irish saints. When I was growing up, my mom always said the St. Bridget's church near us was like, that's your church. But I never went to church. I never really had any religion growing up, so I didn't really understand any of that. But I've definitely had a lot of synchronicity with St. Bridget, because they say like where she walked, you know, clovers would grow. And I've had this thing wherever I go, I find tons of 4-leaf clovers. And then there was some other stuff that like in the, like just about her that when I looked into her made sense. And I think if you have the name of somebody, you're gonna resonate based off of that like numerology type of stuff. So it's like you might carry an imprint from your name alone, or from the date that you were born, or the energy of the planets that were in alignment. I think it all matters, because there's so many people or men who are like, I'm the reincarnation of Jesus. You know, they feel that energy. And obviously they're not all that, but at the same time, we are all that, because we're all one, and we have multi-dimensional reality. Everything's existing and coexisting in this now moment. There's like a billion times over here and a billion lives over here. And everything that you could ever have happen is happening somewhere. It's just a matter of like aligning to that and pulling it here if you want to manifest that one. But I feel like we all have like a certain thing that we vibrate on. Like some people really resonate with Isis, and some people really resonate with, you know, Archangel Michael, and then some people really resonate with Ashtar Commander. And I feel like, you know, Archangel Michael and Ashtar Commander could be the same freaking dude. It's just a matter of who perceives it as what, you know, in their belief system. So we have the high heart here with alignment, and it says ecstatic bliss, and we have the 18 and the 6. So we got Abbey's 6 and Bridget's 18 for the high heart chakra, which we were just talking about, the heart chakra of the earth. And I feel like there's been a lot of messages coming in regards to healing our hearts. Healing is number 30 here. So I feel like the 3 is, you know, transformation. And then the crystal keys are here. And, you know, crystals have literally keys on them that allow us to enter into them and receive information within them. You know, if you have a crystal and it has like a little indent or a little hole or something, that you can see that as like a key to enter into the crystal. And if your crystal has a lot of like misty stuff inside of it, that's a Devic temple. There's people in there and they will talk to you. I had some crazy stuff happen the other day and I was like, oh my God. Oh, look at that. Endless opportunities. So I feel like this is in, again, regards to what I was just talking about. Like we have endless opportunities to align our hearts and align with the healing that's required for us in this lifetime, that's going to ripple across the, you know, multiverse of all the lives.
It's 618 right now. 618.
Oh perfect.
Had to interrupt for that.
Oh, so yeah, totally. Makes sense. And oh, look, 16 is here for loving compassion. And soul star chakra is here with merging with the divine, number 10. So 10 for me is wholeness, completion, oneness. This is like the end of the cycle. I feel like a lot of people are coming to the end of a certain cycle where maybe before you were, you know, dealing with a certain set of dynamics, or your certain, you know, karmic patterns or certain belief systems. And I feel like the keys within the crystals that we're aligned to inside of our body, inside of our energy field, inside of like the earth, wherever we reside, inside of the ones that we have in our possession, you know, endless opportunities basically to have that love and compassion, you know, afforded to us from earth, basically, which is number 14, and it says nurture nature. So nature is something else I've had message come through recently. It's like, get outside. Like if you're inside all the time, there's a lot of frequencies and energies from the Wi-Fi. There's a lot of stuff coming out of these phones, coming out of our laptop, coming out of our TV even. Like when I took the new paradigm, the guy was like, unplug your TV. Like if you're not watching it, not looking at it, unplug it, because it's programming you. Those programs are constantly doing, things. And we need to allow for the sacred transformation to happen so that we can heal along with the earth star chakra that's inside of the earth, so that earth heals too. I feel like as we heal and anchor more higher vibrational energy through our soul star down into our earth star, we offer earth the healing and compassion, and we're co-creating and communicating with our co-creation as healers for the earth and for other people and for each other. And we're balancing the forces, because she's like our mother. She's nurturing us and loving us and giving us all of the stuff that we need to heal and evolve on one level, and then we give it back to her on another. And the violet flame is another thing that I learned within the new paradigm classes that I took, where Saint Germain, whenever you step through a doorway, stepping through, you can imagine that the violet flame is that doorway, so that you're constantly transmuting the shit that's on you, or the stuff that's around you, or the energies of anything you don't want to bring into your space or to your home or to wherever you're going or whatever you're doing, so that you can have that harmonic flight in your life and get grounded and centered with your root chakra, because that's going to help you reach the full spectrum of the healing that's required for a radical expansion with your furred friends and family. So this is again that energy of like what we started off the first reading I did was like, animals and communicating with healing. You're all healers. You have the ability to telepathically communicate with those beings. And there they are again when I tried to switch it. So definitely a lot of you guys need to tap into those animals and communicate. I feel like they're going to help you with your life force energy. And you can be vulnerable with them, and they're very vulnerable. They need your help. They need a voice. And there's the throat chakra, as I said, they need a voice. So be the voice for them, because they are the ones that cannot speak. And reclaim your energy, by doing a practice, like I said, like going through the doorway, seeing that thing, transmuting you and protecting you and saving you from the crappy stuff out there, and surrender into the healing that's available. And then let's see what we have here. We are on the heart chakra. It's so crazy, Bridget. Little 7-Eleven. It was shortly after I read your mind about the citrine. Guess what's in the box before you even posted it? Oh, that's a couple years ago now. I think, right? Or maybe, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's been a while. Time flies now. It's like 5 years. I'm like, what? It just seems to be like getting faster. I've been on an artistic hyper realization over the past 2 months, and I started making my own tarot, and I've started to make an animal family of art, and I want to call it Big Farmer, as I'm Phil. And I literally couldn't do art for shiz, but now I know it's my path. I said that before too. Before my awakening, I liked art. I could draw, but I couldn't do like the stuff I can do now. Like when I sit down with pencils and stuff, it's like totally different thing. And that's because we channel and we can tap into like the higher dimensional frequencies, and it like comes out better. It's like, oh wow, this is really nice. I didn't know I could do that. But I definitely had that experience back when I woke up. And then Melissa said, what's the best way to find out how many lives we've reincarnated? Abby, what do you, Abby's like infinite. She doesn't know because there's too many. Do you have any like way of thinking about that way of like getting? I've never tried or thought about it like specifically for like an exact number.
I mean, the way I kind of think about it is like I'll have memories, like the things that I refer to as like past lives will be like more memories of specific things I feel like karmically I'm dealing with now. And But like, I definitely feel the old soul thing. I've been here a very, very, very long time. But I also think that like, once you reach that understanding of how we're all like connected and from the same source, and kind of like, you know, how the Akashic records work, like we all have that access to all of those lifetimes. So it's like we do and do not reincarnate or live all of those lifetimes at the same time, kind of thing.
Makes sense. I feel like I feel like some of us got stuck here. You know, like we came in, we're like all cocky, like I'll remember, I'll be fine, I'll get out of there, no problem. Oh yeah, sure. And then we were like, like ego, karma, bad people, you know, fighting. And because if you're not like living in a I don't know, like a mountaintop somewhere isolated, like you're gonna mix and mash with people that might cause a little bit of like, you know, or a little bit of stuff that's not always the best stuff to deal with. And if you're just a human, you know, just living your life, it's gonna be hard to be like, oh, let me rise above all of this shit all the time and think the most like occasionally you're gonna be like, fuck you, and then you create that karma. Or if you have kids, it's like that's a guaranteed karmic connection that you just made for yourself. Like, so I don't know. I feel like a lot of us came in, we're like all cocky, thinking we were gonna be like, boom, out of here, and we're like, oh shit, I'm stuck on my soul journey of infinite lives. I don't know.
It's all stuck into your DNA and passed down and down and down, and then you're just like sick and disformed of all the karma stuffed into your body.
Like here, like you chose your parents, you chose your freaking like everything that you have. I'm like, why would I do that? like that doesn't sound right. Like, you didn't tell me all the details. I wouldn't have done that. I guess like for the reincarnation thing too, like if you're that's the thing, like if you're living in a timeline where you're projecting a reality where you're like, I have a finite number of lives that I've lived according to the life that I'm in right now, then you should be able to, you know, ask spirit to confirm to you what the number is, and then do automatic writing, like I said in the reading I gave to you recently, and trust what comes through in regards to the number. And if you get like, say it's been 88 lives, then say, okay, if this is true, if I've had 88 lives, I want to see a dolphin 75 times in the next week, you know, something that's realistic that could happen, but also something that's not likely to happen. You know, like we're not really going to always see, you know, 12 dolphins show up in the next 72 hours. But if you do, it's going to confirm that. And if spirit wants to confirm that to you, they will have that happen. So, you know,
I feel like that's some shit that my guides would do to me. Like, all right, here's 80 dolphins or 80 lions. Do you get it now?
You know, well, the night that we were talking and I had the book and I was talking about the night with the dolphins, the Syrian dolphin and the vertebrae and all of that. And then I like opened the book up and it was like the nose to tail thing that I had just been explaining. And I was like, oh my God, everything that night was just like more and more crazy. I feel old, but who knows? I love ancient stuff. And then my Lemurian crystal does, I got it in Glastonbury. I only recently learned my last name, Aster, is from Ashtar. Oh gosh, that's awesome. It's definitely got the alignment. And I know like when I first woke up with the whole Ashtar thing, like when I first woke up, I was like too naive and like, you know, believed everything I listened to and everything I went and whatever. And then I started realizing like a lot of people were lying because the shit wasn't happening that they were saying was gonna happen. They're like, tomorrow there's gonna be like mass, you know, aliens showing up on the planet and blah, blah, blah. Like we're gonna just come to your house and take you away and you'll be fine. And I'm like, yay. And then that didn't happen. So for a little while, I was like afraid to trust anything at all. And I struggled with the Ashtar command because there was a person that channeled it that was like connected to the lies. But over the time, that's been a thing that's consistently shown up for me as like something that is legitimate, you know, that something is that there is an Ashtar thing, not maybe the distorted version of it that some people have fed to people. But there's definitely something with that out there. I just don't know like all of the details about them. But I think like then there's the Great White Brotherhood. I know there's something about the Great White Brotherhood. I know that there is like the main one that's like a galactic council where there's like peeps from all of the races, like the galactic council of members, and everybody has their name too. Like there's some people like, we are the collection of 9, and the other one's like, we are the doves, and it's just like everybody brings in their frequency. So like when I see the emissaries of light, when I first started, to me they were the emissaries of light. They were them out there. Now it's like aspects of myself from other lives, like I've learned over the time, because, and I've had so much synchronicity for that. Like I'm like, I feel like there's like more than one of me. And then I started getting all the synchronicity of like the mother, the maiden, the crone, you know. And then I was reading a book from like some shamanic guy, and he was like, yeah, we all have like a younger version and an older version of us, and then this version of us like living up in there, and like all these aspects of ourselves, these characters that we portray. And it was just like so many things that finally was like, oh my God, that's what that is. So in a way, I feel like when you talk to your I am presence, or you talk to your guides, you're talking to aspects of yourself from the future, especially if you're in alignment with the star energies and stuff like that. So you could be a version of the Ashtar commander, or somebody like that. There's the great director too. There's the director, a whole bunch of them. And I think that's why we get the variations on names and energies and, you know, what they are, where they're from. But one thing I've always gotten that I just saw the other day too is Planet Era. Planet Era is in the Pleiades, and some weird thing popped up, like an ad for something to do with the Pleiades, but it was the ones from Taygeta, which is one of the stars. And they were saying we predominantly hang out in Planet Era. So it's just like another one of those confirming things, which I keep having consistently, like over the years, like this thing will keep recurring in my life. This name or this, you know, energy will pop up for me over and over. And it's not like I'm searching it or seeking it out, or it's like an algorithm thing. It just comes on its own. So that's when I know it's legit, or that, you know, there's something to that I should trust. It's hard though, because we're here with our human perspectives. Crystals are alive. Yes, they definitely are. And Easter Rick, oh yeah, you are Easter Ashtar. Love, love, love you, Bridget. Thank you, beloved radical acceptance. I think of Easter as my personal holidays. Yeah, and that's the type of thing that I feel like a lot of us end up having. I never really had like a history with like religion or anything like that, so I didn't have that like time, because I know a lot of women are like, I feel like really strongly connected to Mother Mary, or Mary Magdalene. And then Sarah Magdalene is the daughter, and I had 2 different mediums at different times tell me that I am like the reincarnation of Sarah and I'm like, how like unlikely is that? Because I'd never heard of her, and anytime I tell anybody about her, they don't know her. They're like, what? And when I looked at like the one picture that was out there, I felt like a resonance with it. But
and like with your name being Bridget, so there's a few different like background stories I've heard of Mary Magdalene, where she was Celtic roots and a descendant of Bridget, or from Egypt, or she was Egyptian and like a goddess of Isis, or a priestess of Isis. And so I know you're connected to both. And so just like tracking that to Sarah Magdalene as well.
They said the Sarah thing?
Yeah, so Sarah is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Jesus. So Mary Magdalene is either like, some people think she has Celtic roots and is a descendant of Bridget, or she's from Egypt and is like, was a priestess of Isis.
Both. I think. I think it's like it's all because
Yeah.
when you go far enough back, it's like we all have this like global catastrophe. There's a flood, and then there's this dude and this lady, and they have a baby, and the sun is the sun. It's like the same thing over. And then the pyramids in South America, there's pyramids in Japan, like that they hide under grass, and they're like, that's a hill. It's just a hill. That's not a fucking pyramid. It's like, dude, it's that's a pyramid. No, that's a hill. Because if they tell us it's a pyramid, we can go search it and like poke it. But did you know the one in South America sounds like a freaking bird? Like when you clap at it. Did you see that? I shared on my story on Instagram the other day that the ones that have like the flat top, there's like a
Gobekli Tepe, that one.
Yeah, there's like a sacred little, top part where you can go in. And if you are at the bottom and you clap, the sound goes up and then it comes back and it's like a bird, and they call it Quetzal bird, which is Quetzalcoatl, which is the one that we connect with for the Muneki, which is the winged serpent. And that's actually a representation of the Kundalini energy. And that's also energy of like duality. And then they have the Quetzalcoatl, and then his twin, who represented the morning and the night stars, which is Venus. Because they used to think that Venus was two things because they start in the morning at night. But I'm like, they had all this fucking technology and they could make these pyramids, but they thought that was two fucking I'm like, I feel like sometimes we're wrong. I'm like, maybe there is two and we don't know.
I wonder if you're thinking of, because I know there's a place called Corral in Peru that's like starting to date back to like really early times where people are like, this throws off all what we think of the history of human civilization. I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah, everything out there pretty much does. They just suppress it and don't let us know. Or they like, if you're one of those people, an archaeologist, and you like carbon date and you go like, oh, this is way old, like you have the choice of telling people that and losing your career, or telling people that and then like venturing off on your own because they like blacklist you. A lot of like Zechariah Stitchin. Have you seen his stuff? Zechariah Stitchin.
Sorry, hold on. Stefania was saying something in the chat.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you because you are talking. It's really interesting, but I have to go to sleep because doing my time zone now is too late. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, I have 2 reading books in case you can keep other 3 for me. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye. I don't know. What was that? What was
Zachariah? Is that something like that? I caught the name, I think.
Zechariah Stitchin, he did the pillars in Sumeria. Like there was like these round things, like cylinders, and they have the story of Enki and Enlil and the 12th planet.
Oh yeah. When they're holding the little bags, the little bag things in the like they're all like depicted holding like gift bags. It's like something
Probably
like that. Like they're it was like a sign of their like influence on human DNA, like their coatings.
All I know is there was like cylinder things, these sphere things that he, decoded the language of, and when he looks at them, he tells the story of Enki and Enlil, and then Marduk, and Marduk is like the Marduk. He's like Marduks. He's like the dad, and then Enki and Enlil are the ones that are like, they're like they mess with humans and they have like human slaves. And then there's the daughters of men who they lust after and come into them and make hybrid versions of people. And some of them didn't make it through childbirth, some of them did. But then you find there's giants on the earth. Literally, they've found like dead giants. They're always redheads or whatever. And they have them in the Smithsonian underneath the Smithsonian.
Yeah, I did an archaeology site on a Greek island, and it's now the world's largest like infant cemetery. Like there's no other in like burial or anything like where it's just all infants that they found. And they were all buried in these clay vessels that were like shaped like a womb. And they date back like pretty old. I can't remember. It was at least like 5000 BC, but there's like no written records or indication of like ancient Greek stuff of like why this might be on the island. And there's really like people aren't sure why it's there. But like a thing that I got after my awakening was like that was kind of what it was. It was like failed starseed breeding, like babies that got returned to the earth there. And like I was like part of some lifetime previously like doing that or like involved in it. And then that's like why I went to that site.
Not cool, man. It's creepy. I know there's a lot of stuff that Zechariah Stitchin had specifically, like the cylindrical things that he had, but there was other things too. Like he found stuff that was made out of meteorite, and underneath it there was like the 3 stars of the Orion's belt that glow in the fucking dark. And then they had this other thing that was like this little spoon, and it's like they used it for giving birth. And back in the day, they didn't like make you like lay down. Oh yeah, lay down and go against your fucking natural instinct to squat and make the baby come out easy. You know, go lay down and make it difficult. But back then, their like birth was easier with these tools and stuff. But the things that they have are magnetic, and they glow, and they do like all this crazy stuff. And they predate like everything. And there's just so much of it. Like there was a video on YouTube that was like 7 hours long of like unknown artifacts to us. Because they suppress it or whatever. But Zechariah Stitchin does a lot of like, it's kind of sucky, like it's hard to understand him. It's very long and boring, but it's also not boring because it's like,
this sounds fun to me.
I know. I'm like, this is great, but most people are like, oh, what the fuck.
Sometime I'll have to tell you about all the stuff that like when I worked at the Field Museum that I've seen.
Okay. Let me see. I went and sat in the sun and did art after you videos saying get outside, and I loved it. That's awesome. I've been trying to get outside more because my dogs, first of all, want to be out there all the time, and just because it's better out there than in the house. And then Beloved Radical said they hate TV. I got rid of all of mine. I haven't had a TV in like freaking years. This house, I've lived here for like 4 years. There's a TV down in the living room, but that only came like not too long ago. Like a guy that I know was like, hey, you can have this extra TV. And like the only time that TV's been on was the night that he brought it here. And like we turned it on, and it was on Animal fucking Planet, and they like started fighting, and I was traumatized immediately. I'm like, see, this is why I don't watch TV. So it's been on since. But yeah, TV's not good. I don't need it for some reason. My dad's like, how do you survive? So I'm like, I don't know. I got plenty of shit
like
to do.
I have enough of a dialogue going on in my head. I don't need an external one.
Yeah, I got massive amounts of notebooks full of information if you'd like to see. 1111, so cool. Chris said, you should do a series of EMP blocking organite pyramids. I got to get my stuff back from making my organite. I brought my organite supplies to a person that was going to help me with making some of the stuff. And then they like didn't do that, and now they have all my stuff, and I'm like, I need my stuff to make it if you're not gonna. So I gotta get that back. And then Rick, I was told Easter is Estra, and she was goddess of the hair. I learned that in Glastonbury. Synchronicity again. And then Beloved Radical said, what is that? Whoa, there's a lot of hold shit. All right, let me get a little bit faster. The violet fire is the Mother Holy Spirit judgment flame clearing that no longer needed. Anna, I had breakup yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like all like, I don't know. Going wicked fast. I'm sorry. 7 years is like, I feel like there's something to do with that, because I've had a lot of like synchronicity around 7 specifically recently, and 7 is the 7 stars of Pleiades. So I guarantee you that I know it hurts and it sucks to like break up after that long, but it's either something that will probably manifest again, you know, like it's not done, but you got to take a break, or it's something that you played out the part within that you needed to play out, and now you can go to the next level of ascension or the next level of love that's going to be more aligned for you, and just supportive of you. Or maybe it's a time to be alone for a little bit. Like I had to do that for a while, and I was all afraid and oh my God. And then I was like, now I'm like, I don't want anybody to come near me. so it's always what we're used to, basically. I get so much out of the dolphin meditation from Elsie on healing. The dolphins are totally better beings. You know, they're just like so advanced, and they take care of everything. I feel like whenever I work with them, it's like I just kind of step aside and they're like, you know, do their thing. I have a little vertebrae from some woman that gifted me it. She had the ability to just like go to the beach. Like spirit would tell her to go to the beach at this time on this day, and she'd walk there, and like she'd walk up and like, oh, there's a dolphin tooth. Oh, there's a dolphin vertebrae. Oh, there's a dolphin tail and a dolphin rib or whatever. Has all these pieces of them. She got them tested. They're legitimately dolphin things. And then walked into the sanctuary down in Barnstable where a person I knew worked, and was like, where's Bridget? But she doesn't use social media. She doesn't have YouTube. This was before I even was on YouTube, like, you know. And the people were like, do you mean Goddess Bridget? Or what are you talking about? And my friend Sherry was like, I know a Bridget. So she brought her and I together. And she was like, they gave me these to give to you and said you would know what they are. And it's a piece of a Syrian dolphin and a piece of the land from where they were activating the land with sacred geometric patterns and light codes and all of that back in, you know, the time of Atlantis. But I cried my eyes out when I got those. I'm going to do them as NFT, high heart expanding. What crystals are best for the high heart, or best for the heart? Rose quartz is really good for the heart. There's so many, like if you pop into like Google, like what ones are good for my heart, like aventurine, green ones, pink ones are usually aligned for that. And then quartz will amplify any intention. I can't remember the name of some like off the top of my head, but like something like this is good.
I like to use ocean jasper for heart chakra too.
Yep. I mean, honestly, I'm going to say like any crystal ever is good for anything anyways. Like they all have something in, like if you walk into a store and they're like, this is a throat chakra crystal, but you feel like I need to get that from my heart, listen to yourself, because you know what you need for you more than anybody else, and they all will deliver. Like you might need your heart to align to truth, and that's why you're being pulled to the throat one. But other people might need, you know, calmness and serenity, so they might get the amethyst more than, you know, something else. Or somebody might need an abundance of something, so they get citrine to do that. Aventurine is good for abundance, manifesting, and heart chakra, like relationship, forgiveness. Like, and this is raw. I get a lot of raw. The raw hasn't been messed with. And then I have these like little tree ones in here. These are I can't think of the name, like moss agate or something. They're like little.
I've got a moss agate heart.
See? Okay. Gaia needs you to ground your energies. Basically any crystal can help with anything, I think. All right, let's see. Sending love to you, Buddha. Past lives are good to see your patterns. Yes, when I did a mirror scrying too many times, I literally saw so many versions of me. I saw that when I did a thing, I was looking into a glass. I saw my dad on half of me and my mom on half of me. I was like, oh my God. I feel like an old soul too, not my first rodeo. I don't understand why narcissism exists in all other dysfunctional personality traits. Why are humans so complicated? I think humans get like, you know, we just get messed up by what happens to us. And then we get messed up because of what happened to them and them and them. And it just goes down a line of like, oh, your mom beat the crap out of you? Well, your mom's going to beat the crap out of you and you, like, until someone breaks it. And a lot of us are here to break that stuff and be like, well, wait a minute, we don't have to be assholes anymore. Let's not do that. But I don't know either. That's one of the things that really bothered me. Like, yeah, I went through some shit, but I didn't turn around and be like, let me fuck your life up now because I'm suffering internally. Like, I feel empathy and want to help those people, not add to the chaos. So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Buddha's turn, if you're interested in booking a reading, the sun and moon reading I'm offering might be good for like that situation of like finding that love for like the light and dark experiences of like the situation, and like narrow it down to like specific things if you'd like to. But that's kind of like what I like to offer, is like help bringing the light back into the dark.
She's an expert level dealing with the narcissism. We both have a lot of, experience in that realm. I heard we chose our current life. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know how much of it is 100% chosen, or I think we chose to come and then like I said, then we got like stuck because of karma. We're like, oh, let's have a baby. It'll be fine. Or let's like, marry this guy and that'll be all right. Oh, let me, steal this thing. Nobody will know. And like, 7,000 years later, we're like, why am I here? Let's see. Got to say thanks again, Bridget. This is a great experience, and you're just so adorable, or as adorable and amazing as I thought you are. Thank you, Manifestor. Thank you for coming and being a part of the live with us. I always don't ever know what to say when people compliment or say like nice. I'm like, thank you. I gotta get better at just being thank you. I am a starseed among other things, but I'm doing my best to navigate this mundane, dense world. Magic in the mundane, Yeah, man. It's like Harry Potter. I went too far. Yes, many channels, AI and not the real deal. Gotta discern and ask them to connect with you personally. I have Pleiadians guides. Yeah, sometimes I think people get like mixed into like the video games or something too, and it's like it's a fake world that they're not trying to manipulate people with, but it's like it's there, and it may tap into parts of the truth, and then there's like a fine line between like what we can take for real and not. And when I was 18, I had an encounter with a huge triangle pyramid in the night sky. It was like on fire, and that stuck with me, as you would imagine, but something reminded me while with my dad, so I typed. Yeah, I had a fire thing experience too.
I had a friend say that was something too, that they at one point they saw like a pyramid of like really bright stars, like a triangle in the sky one time when they were like younger, but no one ever believed them. That's so cool.
What was it, a pattern of what?
It was like a triangle. They just said they saw like a triangle of really bright lights, like or stars in the sky when they were a kid, but like no one believed them. And I just like, it sounded exactly what you just read.
When I was little, I was in the tent with my next door neighbor, and we had the like top open on the tent. So like the screen was there. But like a section of the sky like broke up, like it just like broke. Like it was like a circle of stars was like, and then it like left. I'm like, what the hell? It's like just like a perfect circle of stars is like disconnected from the rest of the sky and took off. And then another time we were in her room. She was my next door neighbor. She lived upstairs. Her bedroom window like looked over my yard. And every time I would out in my yard, I would always look up and stare at Orion's belt. But I was in her room looking out the window, and like some fireball thing came and was like doing this like weird stuff. And then there was like other times like with things like that would happen. When I woke up in 2011, I spent like so long at night just outside. I got a telescope. I would get all these blankets and like robes, and I'd be out there like all bundled up for hours, just like huddled between the cars, like staring up. My neck would hurt. my ex was like, you're gonna leave me. Like, he just knew things like, you're totally fucking different. I don't know what happened. But I would just be out there all night, like, and stuff would come, like these little tiny, 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 minuscule stars. They look like stars. They're not stars, because stars don't go like doing all this weird crap. Like they would be like, you know, like a satellite, like I'm gonna be just going down the street. No, I'm gonna mess with you, like do all this weird stuff. And they were so small, you'd have to be out there for like a while for your eyes to adjust to even be able to catch them. And they were so far away, that's why they were so small. But then there was 3 stars that were out there every night in the same position. They never moved. Like everything else moves all night long. Like the moon starts here, it ends over here. These stars started here, they end over here. Those 3 stars, I could go look out my bedroom window no matter what time it was. They were always boom, boom, boom. I cried when we left that house because I was like, my stars. like I don't know if they're gonna come. But we didn't move that far away. I didn't see them in the new house, but other stuff came in place. There was like a pattern that they would do. So there was a tree line, and this thing would come up from behind the trees, and then it would go over across the top of the like lake or the pond that was out there, and then it would glow. It would grow to this big, huge light, like rainbow, like whoa. The first time I was like, it's a miracle. That's what I said. I didn't know how to verbalize. And like, they finally let me show people, because they never let me show anything before. My mom saw it, my ex saw it, like, and he was like, I don't know, that's not a helicopter, that's not a plane, I don't know what that is. And they would do the big wah, 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 then they would go back down to normal size, go down into the water, and then another one would pop up where it started, and it was like this thing all, just over and over. And I have video of it, but you know how you look at the moon, it's like take a big glowy star, and it's like you can tell it gets bright and changes colors and shit, but like it's not like it was in person. And I don't know what that was, but it was definitely cool, and it happened all the time. And they would tell me when they were like there, like I'm like, they're here. I go outside. In Bleeding Hill UFO, someone else say it was written in a UFO encounter blog. I nearly fainted. It was validation. See, I believe that a lot of people see. They say that the people with like Rh negative blood have like the higher rated rate. Like if you were to interview everyone who's seen in UFO or reports being abducted, the majority of those people would be like Rh negative for some reason. I don't know why. That's like a statistic I heard about it. And I'm like, okay. I think they do something. Like some of them are not good. Like you don't want to be like abducted. Because the Greys will come. I heard that the Greys will come and like take people to use as like a segregate to have babies, because they can't reproduce. So their race is like dwindling down to nothing. So they started making hybrids. And there's a lot of women, like Bridget Nielsen was the first one that I had like seen talk about it, where they literally have a baby up in space. And like they wipe your memory, like they bring you up and let you play with your baby, but then they wipe your memory and you don't remember it. But some of the women that have had this experience of being a segregate are recalling, I have a kid, like I made a baby, like I know there's a baby, and they're remembering little bits and pieces of it. And I had a lot of weird experiences with stuff. So it definitely made me feel like that is a possibility. And it's not always a good thing, you know, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing either. But like free will, like asking people, hey, can we use your freaking eggs? You know, that would be, I don't think like you're not carrying the baby around for 9 months, but they take your shit and make a baby with your stuff. So then you have like this big wide-eyed, you know, half baby. Beloved, I wrote a poem called We Are Multidimensional. Nice. I have a lot of poems. I've been writing a lot of them recently. I and I've been like getting them together into a book, like I have them all together because there's so many. But you should share your poem. Yes, Ari, very connected to the Pleiadians and Arcturians. Me too, exactly the same. Manifestor Magdalene and Sananda's twin. Magdalena is Sananda's twin. Okay. Goodness, Bridget, Sarah Magdalene would have been buried in Glastonbury. Isis is different. She is my daughter incarnate as well as Osiris. Okay. Christianity comes directly from the Celtic Esa, and in the Turkish Esa is Jesus. But we are all connected, many aspects, many names. Bridget, there are pyramids here too. Really? In Glastonbury? I'm going to prove it. Yeah, show me. The feathered serpent. Yep, that's Quetzalcoatl. Mexico is my heritage and ancestral land. The vessel of man. Want to connect to more people. It's freaky how connected things are. I know. In medium session, I spoke of, he told me I was going to be living somewhere stinking hot in America and instantly felt Mexico. It could be. 10th planet Nibiru, yes, yeah, that Anunnaki. Somerset is Sumur, and said it all stems from here, and Britain is remnants of Atlantis. Cuneiform is this based on the take of Gilgamesh? I think you're talking about when we're talking about the tablets. I think Gilgamesh was, yeah, he talked about, Zechariah Stitchin talked about that. There's another guy too that talks about it too. He wrote the Chariots of the God, Chariot of Gods. I can't think of his name for some reason, but there's a couple of writers or men out there that have talked about it. There's another guy too, who did like Human Race, Get Off Your Knees. He has a lot of information. He talks about like the reptilians and the queen and the king, the queens, and like, you know, that whole thing with like the children and stuff. Orgone caves and Iside islands are the canal bastion of the giants. Final bastion, cool. I was there to see if it's true. I'm also fascinated with Egypt. Me too. Egypt was one of the ones that was like for me, and the like stuff from like, you know, like the stuff like about the 7 daughters of Atlas and all of that, the Greek mythology. What do you think about Moldavite? My dearest friend wants me to have hers as she's done with it. I think it's good stuff if it's a good one. You know, sometimes people lie and say it's Moldavite, but it's not. I love it. I had been like addicted to Moldavite oil. A girl that I was like friends with used to get it for me, and it had like a spicy scent to it, but the Moldavite was in the oil. And then I have Moldavite incense, and both of those, I love those. And Moldavite, some people get really reactive to it, like they can't be around it, and some people love it. So I think it's a starseed stone for sure. I used to have a page on my website called, you know, starseed stones, and it was Moldavite, Tektite, and Labradorite. I love your mind. Thank you. Hancock, yes. Eric von Däniken, yes. Eric von Däniken is the Chariots of the God. Yep. Eric von Däniken is the other writer that talks about that type of stuff. And yeah, Graham Hancock, or is that his name? Something Hancock.
Yeah, it's Graham Hancock.
Yeah, he has stuff. And then there's that guy, Corey Good talks, but Corey Good is like, I don't like that he like is like exclusive. Like he's like, no, the 12, because I've connected with the 12 avians, and I've taken people on journeys that have connected with them. And he's like, the avians will not connect with anyone but me. I'm like, well, we did. So I don't know, but I'm sorry. I just think that's like, I think that happens a lot with channels. Like I've seen like with, when I took the new paradigm, I was all gung ho, and it was like the beginning of my awakening. And I'm like, yeah, this is the best thing ever. But then like after I had a few years, I'm like, the whole purpose of the new paradigm is to get rid of limitations that Reiki, you know, brings in with like, you got to do the hand position for 3 minutes, and you got to do this with the bell. And like, it's very robotic. And we throw all of that out with the new paradigm, and we get rid of the symbols so that we don't have to be like, oh, Chokoray, or oh, Hashirshan. And his thing was like, if you put a symbol in to your vortex, you're going to align your vortex to the energy of that symbol and nothing above it. It's just that symbol. So if you get rid of the symbols, you're open to the infinite expansiveness of the universe, which I could align with all of that. But then his thing was like, if you get my teachings, you can no longer teach Reiki and the new paradigm. So it was like, here's a new limitation instead of these limitations. And there was just a couple of little things like that in there. That's like, it's like ego driven. Like you want your modality to be the only modality that anybody has or learns. Because Reiki teaches the basics of chakras and hand positions to begin with. Because some people might not know how to do just like, where do I go? What do I do? Because he doesn't teach that with the new paradigm. So like I got my Reiki 1, and then I got my new paradigm basic master, and then I got my Reiki 2 because I had to get that. So then I could get my master teacher of the new paradigm to wipe out the things that I got from my Reiki 2. She's like, you're going to get the symbols in Reiki 2, and then we're going to do the master teacher and clear the symbols. The fuck's the point? But people know what Reiki is. People don't know what the new paradigm is. So it was like here, so I got my master teacher in Reiki, basically just because people know what it is, and then cleared it out with the new paradigm. Like, this is dumb. But I see that happen a lot within things in the spiritual, like, channeling. I feel like anybody who channels, you can only get as like what that person has available to them in their consciousness, or like, their energy field. So if they're, limited with a certain perspective, then they're not going to channel in. They might channel in one that's against their perspective, but there may be times where they get like, or there be something in there that's not so, I don't know. And then I think they can expire. A lot of channelings are timeless, but sometimes I feel like we evolve past the messages. You should check out Kristen O'Brien. I don't know who that is. Avians are like way up there, right? 12D is 12th dimension. And whenever I connected with them, I saw a lot of like owls and stuff too. And the owls are definitely aliens on Earth. They're like, oh, like they fucking turn their whole head around. They're like, I see you. There's a video, some movie where they had aliens involved in it, and the aliens would be like, oh, they're coming, because like the owl would show up and be like, woohoo, like, they're coming. You should check out Christian O'Brien. I might have seen something of that, but I will check it out. And then, my bad, yeah, Graham Hancock did Fingerprints of the Gods, yep. Hello, in Italy, it's 1:04. What do you want to do in this life? Basically, what we were doing is, I have a membership with members in the group that I have. And so I opened up my community like tonight, so that if anybody wanted to book a session with them, they could do that, which basically is a discounted session for $10. And then I put your name down, and you can either email them your questions or submit your questions here with a super chat. And then they will send you back either, it depends on which one you book, in audio or recorded video of your reading within 72 hours of the live. Heather didn't show up, so I'm not booking for her. But Kitty, Abby, Stefania, and myself are offering readings. I have 2 sessions left. Abby has 6 spots open for doing like these like balancing of duality, which I know a lot of people struggle with on the Bridget Rao channel, like dealing with twin flames and all of that. Literally balancing duality is how you get to union. So her messages are in regards to how do you do that, and also figuring out like how to best navigate what we're dealing with right now with the Pisces energy and the transits that we have happening and all of the stuff going on astrologically in the full moon. And then Stefania is doing Akashic record readings, where in the description box, you'll see what type of questions you could ask. You can ask 5 questions. It could be from your twin flame, or it could be from your guides. Like, what do I need to know in regards to this? Blah, blah, blah. And then me, I just do tarot readings. Like, it can be twin flame, it could be starseed origin, or it could be wealth, health, whatever. Whatever people want to know about. It's a 5-question, 20-minute reading. And doing it like they're donating their time to the community, and I'm donating access to the community, to these practitioners so that they can practice and grow and learn, or share their sessions and things like that, and get their name out there in front of all the members of the Bridget channel. I'm probably going to do one on the Divine Essentials channel too, because that one I've been more active with, and I feel like that would be like a good thing to do, like mix it up. And then I have other girls that were supposed to come that offer different things. Like I have one that does hypnosis, and then I'm not sure what the others were planning on offering, but it'll be different each time. We're planning to do this once a month. So you get a discounted session is $10. You get either, 15 to 20-minute session, depending on who you book with. And you can either submit questions and information here through the super chat when you make the $10 payment, or make the $10 payment and let me know that you're going to email it directly to your person that you chose. But just let me know who you chose so I can cross off the list and not overbook anybody. Is Heather still available for readings? I'm at work, so I'll ask for a reading after leaving the workplace. Yeah, Heather was supposed to come live, and she wanted to do it like during the live time that we set up. So she wasn't going to be available after the first 2 hours. So I don't want to book. She didn't even show up. So I don't want to book something on there if she's not. She said she's not available because she's got to work at her other job tomorrow. Then she's got like Easter stuff. So she'll probably be at one of these ones in the future if you want to do that, or I can ask her like afterwards, but I just don't want to like take it down and then have like an issue with it. I only put her information in because I thought she was she said she was definitely coming. Have you heard of End All Beal? No, I haven't. I've been seeing owls, well, symbols, love them very much. Also, did you know Mexico owls are witches? No, I did not know that. Baby owls look like the aliens we all know what to look like. Yep. It is normal if in a Reiki session, people feel the things I visualize. Like if I imagine a dark energy, they can't breathe. But if I imagine light, they feel good and not in their body. Yeah, well, I think you can influence stuff for sure. If you have, if you're working with someone's energy and you may be like feeling like, the one that's doing it per se, like I'm visualizing this like intentionally, but you might be guided to visualize that because that's what's there, like it may be like a weird thing like that where it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this dark thing, but then the reason why you're doing it is because it exists on some level. But I also think, yeah, if you really wanted to like mess with people, you probably could be like, you can't breathe. But I wouldn't recommend that for sure. But yeah, it definitely will impact those who are sensitive to energy. That's why like that's why, having protection up is good, because there could be people out there that are daggering you, that hate you, that don't like you, that are sending all of this like, energy at you. And if you don't, have good protection up, or if you don't realize it, it can really mess with you and your well-being. It's okay, I'll book a reading. Okay, thank you, Melissa. Melissa, I think you're the one that I have one on the books right now for an automatic thing, right? Have you got any boys in your team, Bridget? We don't have any boys in the team. It was like, it's like a divine feminine type of thing that I started, and I don't even know why. Like it wasn't like to segregate or be like, not inclusive, but it's just kind of like what I'm used to too, because for so long it's just been lots of women all the time. But
I'm pretty tapped into masculine energies, if that helps.
Yeah, we have a lot of man in us. We need it. I probably do something that's like I don't know, I can make something. And you're really like, the membership I have now is literally just like, we go live the first, actually, I guess on the readings, anybody could come to that because it's not like you have to be a woman to be in there. So I have drop-in calls on the first Tuesday of the month, which people can come just for that, which is $8.88. And that's for the readings. Then the second Tuesday, which I have to post, I was like all consumed with this thing yesterday. I didn't get to post one. They get an activation specifically for them, but I do post those on Vimeo so people can purchase those for $11.11 if they're not part of the membership. And then on the third Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday, those are like live calls where sometimes I do a meditation, sometimes I do a ritual, sometimes it's just like chit chat, sometimes it's you know, whatever comes up in that moment. Sometimes there's a girl that's really struggling, or sometimes we just kind of like act goofy and weird. But that's all that I do now for that, like on the schedule. And then outside of the membership, there's a lot of events that I do, like the goddess activations are available for anybody. The star rites are available for anybody. The womb rites coming up, that's good for anybody. Oh, I got a Q&A coming up with the Pleiadians. There's only 7 spots available for that. May 15th, it's the beginning of the Pleiadian lineup. If you want to be there for that, I'm going to do trance channeling and go into trance and do Q&A with Zoom on. So whoever's in the Zoom room with me will get to ask a question to the emissaries of light. And I'm going to start adding more of those and probably do some, maybe I'll do some live on the channel, but I am planning, now that I've cut some of the stuff back on my membership, to get more onto my channels and get more onto like the public domains and things, because I was just so consumed doing stuff nonstop with the other stuff that I hadn't really been posting. I kind of like couldn't do my Alcyon light healing videos. It just kind of took over. So we're in the transition back to balance. And okay, thank you, Melissa, for booking. And I will, I was planning on, you know, working on the other ones either tonight or tomorrow anyway. So if I get your questions tonight, I may just do them both at the same time. And then we have automatic writing. I'm the divine, you're the divine feminine. Absolutely. All right, well, I guess I could, he's a divine feminine.
I mean, it doesn't, I feel like the energies, it helps whoever needs them. Like, cause like I said, I was more masculine energies. And then like the reason I signed up for this was because I needed to learn how to like access emotion and intuition and, you know,
Me.
let go.
I'm like, we're doing good. We're learning on our own a little bit at a time. No, I
don't think it would be weird if people joined, no matter like what gender, sex, or.
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't know if like anybody else would, but I never said to anybody, this is exclusively for women, but I feel like just because of how it's been, I should probably ask at least, like, hey, does anybody mind if there's a dude? Because in the beginning, there was a dude. Patrick had signed up in the very beginning, but the only reason he signed up was so that he could do Muneki. I don't know. I think like Kitty was friends with that and then like said something. And so I think he was confused as to like, like what all entailed. And I think he kind of just like signed up, did the Muneki, and then was like, okay, that's kind of that's what happened anyways. So I don't know. But I will open it up to men, and I guess I'll just give me like, you know, let me double check to make sure that everybody's like not gonna be weird about it. And if they're weird about it, I'll figure out something for it. But I've never said only women, I don't think. There was a group, that's the thing that was weird. There was one group that was for divine feminine, like Divine Feminine Union, I think was the name of the group. So if anything, that was specifically, I should have done a divine feminine and divine masculine if I was going to do you know what I mean? To balance it out, keep it equal between the two. But I don't know. I don't think anybody would have a problem with it. I'm not gay, but I definitely have a strong feminine side. You know what though? Honestly, like most of the men who come to my stuff that I find like in my, comments and stuff, they usually are the feminine, or they resonate with the feminine stuff more than the masculine stuff, or they're in that role of like, my person's running from me, or like they just fit into that dynamic on that side, and that's how they find me. But I have a lot of men out there actually that comment and say things and follow, and I'm not predominant. Like that's the thing that got confusing too, is like I used to just be like starseed with a little bit of twin flame, and then twin flame like took the center stage and like blew up and was crazy, and then it became like twin flame with a little bit of starseed. But I'm trying to get back to like starseed, being my main thing. I keep getting guidance about like, you got to get back to like your roots. You got to get back to like what you set out to do. Because I got my own like journey thing, like sucked me in and distracted me from what I should be doing and focusing on and healing and all of that. But it's a part of the journey. So like they've always been, lingering around the outskirts of things, but then it was like, here, you can take the center stage for a few years. But now we got to be like, all right, get back on the outside and let the real stuff go. I don't know if I can call myself a Reiki healer, because after 5 minutes, people start to feel the energy really strong on a physical level. Maybe it's Secum. Anyway, thank you for your knowledge. You're welcome. I feel like a lot of us have an innate ability to heal, regardless of like Reiki, regardless of like a modality. And I felt that way. I felt very limited with Reiki when I took the Reiki 1, because my teacher was like, you can't send long distance until you're a Reiki 2. And I was like, I already did. Like my dad at the time was in jail, and I had sent him long distance healing, and he had felt it and had experiences from it and like feedback and all of that. So I'm like, how can you sit here and tell me that I can't do that when I already did? And then like Mune Ki, the first rite from the Mune Ki activates your ability to heal in your hands. So some people who took the Mune Ki, they are healing, they are healers, but they're not attuned to Reiki. So they don't have all the like programming surrounding Reiki and all of that. And a lot of things like there's some teachings out there that say, Dr. Usui was the one that was like in the cave fasting and doing his little thing there for a few days when he received the symbols for the Reiki Usui tradition. Then Mrs. Takada carried it on, but back then they didn't have like a manual and a book and like, this is what the symbol looks like and this is what this is. It was basically just passed person to person. So like that's why there's all these versions of the Hansho Seisho Nen and all these versions of like Chokore, because everybody like fucked it up a little bit over. It's like if you do telephone, by the time it gets to that last person, the message that started is not the same. So they kind of got messed up over the years, but also the purpose of what Reiki was supposed to be got distorted, and control systems got put around it, and limiting beliefs came to play within, and control of or money became like some people were charging like thousands of dollars to make people a Reiki practitioner, and it's just everything gets messed up when humans do the human thing that we do and get our egos involved and do stuff that we shouldn't be doing. But I think we're all getting to a point now where it's like we're realizing that you don't need that shit. Like some of the stuff that I do that's like the most sought out or the most desirable offering that I have is like stuff that I just taught myself. I didn't take a class, I got no certificate. Nobody taught me how to trans channel. Nobody taught me tarot. Nobody taught me automatic writing. Nobody taught me how to play my bowls. Like nobody taught me how to play my drum. Like it's just stuff that I naturally did that I resonate with strongly. And I think we should all listen to inside rather than thinking we need some piece of paper to tell us that we can now do something that we feel called to do. So it's been a couple hours now. And I think we have hit our time limit on how long we were supposed to be on for. I don't know. Okay, so basically what I'm gonna do is Abby, you know, her information's out there. I'm gonna let her decide, like, if she wants to leave it open for people to contact you in regards to getting a session. You could do that if you want to. You know, like if somebody watches this after we're done and they feel like, hey, I want to do that. Are you open to like letting people, you know, come book with you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like the people that need this right now will find me, and in time that'll happen too if it doesn't happen today.
Okay.
But yeah, that's fine. And, or if like people want to like get to know me a little bit more, they can go to Instagram. There's a bunch of readings on there and stuff already. So
And YouTube.
And YouTube, yep.
And she's in my membership. She's another me. She's like she's my mini me, or my second me, or my starseed me. I don't know what we call it. But I think because I was supposed to do another one of these tonight with a second group of women that I never got, like they never gave me their info, like it just didn't get put together. I'll probably offer another one of these soon on the other channel, the Divine Essentials channel. So if you haven't already subscribed over there, but you know you're going to want to come to one of these events,
do a starseed theme tonight.
Yeah, it'll be like that channel is more of the starseed peeps. It's more it's just a different vibe, you know. There's two different vibes. I've got the starseed vibe, and then I got like it's not a lot of the people here tonight are definitely starseed vibe, and so they were definitely pulled here for sure. But I feel like both channels just kind of have their own thing with them. And I like abandoned the Bridget Rao channel. Like occasionally throw a poem on there. But I am planning on getting back to updating on a regular basis and doing readings for the collective with extended offers that are 18 plus, because I have all my 18 plus decks that I can't use anymore because YouTube like took down all my big long, you know, 100,000 view videos, or I had to take them down or I couldn't be monetized anymore. So I took all those down and deleted them. And then I kind of was like, screw you guys. And I went to Instagram where I could use those decks and do my 18 plus stuff. Then Facebook took over Instagram and was like, you can't do that. So I had to take all those down there. So now I'm like, what the hell? But I have Vimeo where I can post on there, and it's like behind a thing where nobody can be like bitchy about it. So I'm going to do those and other offers on there. But the only reason I haven't gotten one up yet is because the first one I tried to do was just a shitty vibe. Like the messages that came through are not good. And I didn't want that to be the first one back. And then this week I've been, you know, figuring this out, how I was going to do this and all of that, and just switching over the membership and getting things settled. So things will be coming out on a more regular basis. Alcyon Light Healing is also happening this month. We're moved on to level 6. So there's only one more level after that. This month's like teaching you tarot, teaching you oracle cards. There's a couple activations. Those are the only paid parts of Alcyon Light Healing. The rest of it's free. All the teachings are free. All the meditations are free. And then if you're part of the membership, you get free codes to watch some of the activations depending upon what level it is. And there's a lot of other benefits in the membership too. And like I said, I probably will open up to men. I just want to make sure nobody's going to have like a traumatic reaction to it or something, like freak out. But yeah, thank you guys for coming. And do you believe in Kundalini? It is possible to awaken it with healing energy. I do believe in Kundalini energy. I think I had a awakening experience at one point, and one of the most like memorable, awesome experiences I've ever had was when I did Kundalini yoga. That was like life-changing. Like I read one of my memories recently where I did that, and I was just like a totally different vibe. I was so happy and like, oh my God. And it was just like, I was like, like riding the energy very high. When I read the comment, I'm like, wow, I was very happy with that. So I do believe it's very potent, powerful. You can awaken it. But it's something that some people, you know, say, be careful, because can mess with your brain or make people go crazy, or if you're not responsible with it, it can be too much energy. So I would maybe, you know, look into it a little bit, maybe do a meditation around it. And yeah, definitely believe it's there. I've felt some Kundalini vibes, and I was like, whoa. Have you had Kundalini energy from anything, Abby?
Oh yeah. Shortly after my awakening, I found like some meditations, and pretty much after that, it was like serpents everywhere.
Yeah, we were talking about Quetzalcoatl. He's tied to it, so you could also just like look up some of that stuff, like the winged serpent or the serpent energy and the divine feminine connection, because that's tied to it. But there's a lot of symbolism in everything that is usually tied to that. And then pie stones are a representation of the spine would be the center, and then this is like, you know, the Kundalini energy wrapped around the spine 3.14 times, which is pi. So this is a pie stone. But when it's awakened, your Kundalini energy goes like a spiral figure 8 around all of your chakras, and then spirals back down the other way. And it makes you hot. I usually got hot from that. This is a better size of the pie stone, but there's a lot of things that will have that information tied to it, and you'll probably be surprised. Ouroboros is the serpent eating its own tail, ties into all of that stuff. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. And if you want to reach out to Abby, you can do so. And I will post on the community board, and I'll be back with videos and all of that. Thank you. I don't even know how to get off. I'm like, oh.
Hopefully it doesn't take as long as it did to get on.
Yeah. I guess I'll just end here. Okay, thank you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.